So the next topic we're going over that is also a very heavy topic in this area is loss contingencies. And this is regarding the legal accrual that is also in the homework and in the Roger CPA questions. So let's define a loss contingency. It's an existing uncertain situation involving potential loss depending on a future event. So it's either a lawsuit, or it could be a devaluation of some sort, and it basically something that triggers a liability. And the two questions you have to look at is the likelihood that the confirming event will occur. What can be determined about the amount of loss? So it's the likelihood and the loss. GAAP requires that the likelihood the future event be categorized as probable, reasonable, reasonably possible, or remote. So these three you basically have to memorize. And then probable, it's likely to occur. Reasonably possible, there's a chance, and the chance, and then remote is the chance the event will occur is slight. So quick question before we move on: which of the following is not true regarding loss contingencies and their disclosure? It is companies are required to account for a loss contingency when the event that gave rise to it occurred before the end of the year. So that's not true because it's through the financial statement date, and that is the issue date after the audit is complete. Could be up to 6 months later or 4 months later. So they have to check all the way until the date of the financial statement if something had occurred, and they would still disclose it. These are the various disclosures that you need to know about. So if the likelihood is probable, the amount is known, you accrue. The likelihood is probable and reasonably estimatable, then you accrue as well. If it's reasonably possible, then it's disclosure, 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 only notes, and remote, no disclosure required. So it's easy. So remote, nothing. Reasonably possible, as soon as you see that, it's a note. And probable, you do accrue, but if you can't estimate it, think about it, if you can't estimate, you don't know what it is, then it's actually disclosure note only. Okay, so now how do you actually report it? When loss contingency is accrued as liability, so you have a loss, it's debit the expense, credit the liability. And when it's a non-cash asset, you have a loss, and then it's a asset devaluation, so you reduce the value of the asset. The next topic we have here is product warranties and guarantees, and this is essentially a warranty is automatically going to result in a contingency. And for example, in this, we have an example here. Caldera Health, a supplier of in-home healthcare products, introduced a new therapeutic chair carrying a 2-year warranty against defects. Estimates based on the industry experience indicate warranty loss costs of 3% of sales during 12 months and 4% during the next 12 months. Okay, so now it's sold. First month of availability, they sold 2 million chairs. So we can record the entry debit cash, credit sales revenue. But then what happens? December 31, 2018, adjusting entry, what we have is 2 million times 3 plus 4%, right? And this is an accrual basically, because look, the business is starting, and it started in December of 2018, right? So what are they saying here? We have an adjusting entry right away. We're going to book the warranty expense in advance. Warranty expense and estimated warranty liability, because it's going to be at 7%. When customers' claims are made and the costs are incurred, to satisfy those claims, the liability is reduced. Okay, so it's reduced by the 61 in 2019. So that's just what they tell you. Estimated warranty liability, debited down, and cash when you actually pay out the liability. So this is another main contingency, and that's basically, you know, a rule of how we measure these is using the best estimate of future cash flows, and that's how we book these out.